If you've been in a car accident, you need to hear this. The insurance adjuster? Yeah, they are not your friend. In fact, they're heavily trained to make you say 3 specific words that will absolutely kill your claim. Welcome to this explainer. By the time we wrap this up, you're going to know exactly what to say, what you definitely shouldn't say, and the exact step-by-step actions you need to take to protect yourself. Because let's be real, the second you're standing on the side of the road, a high-stakes game begins, and you are playing against absolute professionals.
So, picture this. Right after a crash, your adrenaline is absolutely pumping, right? Your heart's racing, and in the stress and confusion of that exact moment, human nature kind of takes over. You want to be polite. You might just blurt out, "I'm sorry, I didn't see them," or, "I'm fine." But as harmless as those phrases feel in the moment, actually saying them out loud can instantly destroy your entire claim. The golden rule here, after a collision, never ever make any statements about fault.
And here's exactly why. We call this the adjuster trap. Look, insurance companies are businesses, and their #1 goal is protecting their bottom line, which literally means paying out as little as they possibly can. So the claims adjuster assigned to your case, they're basically hunting for any reason to deny or reduce your compensation. They will take your innocent, totally polite statements and twist them into a legally binding admission of liability, way before you even have all the facts about what actually caused the crash.
And this is exactly how that trap snaps shut. You might say, "I didn't see them." And in your head, you simply mean the other driver sped out of nowhere, or maybe they didn't even have their headlights on. But what does the adjuster actually write down? An outright admission of fault. It's crazy. A simple, polite apology at the scene completely transforms into recorded evidence, and you better believe the insurance companies will aggressively use that against you to avoid paying out a single dime. So, why does this matter so much? Well, in some places, like North Carolina, for example, there's this incredibly strict rule called contributory negligence. And under this law, if you're found to be even 1 single percent at fault for the accident, just 1%, you get nothing. You cannot recover any compensation at all. So that innocent apology, you just handed them that 1% on a silver platter. Remember, the burden of proof is on you. Fault is determined by hard evidence, like police reports and traffic cameras, definitely not your polite opinions on the side of the road. Now, the second part of that trap is physical. When you tell an adjuster, "I'm fine," you're totally ignoring the fact that adrenaline is a massive painkiller. It completely masks severe trauma. Days later, serious injuries like whiplash, soft tissue damage, or concussions can just suddenly flare up. But if you already said you were fine right after the crash, insurers now have the perfect ammunition to dispute those delayed injuries. They'll just turn around and argue, "Well, these injuries aren't from the crash because, hey, you said it yourself. You were fine." All right, let's move into Section 1, the social media minefield and your digital footprint.
Because the trap doesn't end at the accident scene. It goes straight into your phone. Defense attorneys and insurance companies actively hunt for online evidence to undermine your injuries. And trust me, they are really good at it. Take these real-world examples from our sources. There's John. He filed a claim for severe neck and back injuries, but then shortly after, he posted photos of himself enjoying a hiking trip. Obviously, the defense used those photos to argue his injuries weren't that bad, which led to a drastically reduced settlement. Or take Mark. He ruined his claim by posting a home renovation video while he was supposedly incapacitated. And look, if you think you can just hit delete or hide behind privacy settings, think again. Deleted content can easily be recovered, and even your private direct messages can literally be subpoenaed in court. So, to put it bluntly, yes, absolutely. Your vacation photos can totally ruin your claim. Every single post, tag, or comment can be taken entirely out of context. The smartest move here? Be like a claimant named Sarah from our source material. She maintained absolute silence online. She managed her digital footprint perfectly, avoided posting literally anything related to her daily activities. And because of that, she won a substantial settlement that was completely unaffected by any online snooping.
Moving on to Section 2, What to Do Instead. This is your survival guide.
Now that we know exactly what traps to avoid, both out there on the road and on your phone, let's get into the exact action plan you need to follow immediately after a collision. First things first, before you even utter a single word to the other driver, secure the scene. Pop your 4-way flashers on, check yourself and your passengers for injuries. If the car is actually drivable, get it out of traffic so you don't cause a secondary accident. Your entire focus in those crucial first few minutes has to be on safety and documenting the objective facts, not playing detective and analyzing whose fault it was. Here is your exact 4-step survival checklist. Step 1, always call 911. The police report is your absolute most critical piece of neutral third-party evidence. Adjusters rely on it heavily to figure out who's at fault. Step 2. Exchange basic info only. I'm talking name, address, insurance company, and policy number. That's it. Step 3. Pull out your phone and take photos of the vehicles, the license plates, any skid marks, and even the weather conditions. And Step 4. Grab witness names and phone numbers before they drive off. Those objective facts, that's what actually wins claims.
And you're really going to need those photos because once you actually file your claim, you're going to face another major hurdle, the lowball offer. See, if your car is a total loss, insurers owe you the actual cash value, or ACV. But remember what we talked about. They want to pay you as little as possible. So they'll try to lowball you using bad comparisons to cars that are in way worse condition. Or they'll use outdated sales data that completely misses current market prices. Sometimes they even make totally unfair deductions for just normal wear and tear. Having that photographic evidence of your car's pre-accident condition is, hands down, your absolute best defense against all these tactics.
Okay, on to Section 3, the clock is ticking, knowing your legal deadlines.
Because let's face it, gathering all this perfect evidence won't matter one bit if you miss the strict legal deadlines. The clock literally starts ticking the exact second metal hits metal. And how fast you have to act? Well, that depends heavily on who actually hit you. The statute of limitations sets the timer on how long you have to file a lawsuit. Usually, the standard state deadline is about 2 to 3 years, though in some states it's just a single year. But here is the massive catch you need to know. If you're hit by a government vehicle, we're talking a city bus, a police car, or maybe a state-owned truck, you might only have 30 to 180 days to file a formal notice of claim. And if you miss that tiny 30-day window, you are permanently barred from recovering anything. Zero.
Which brings us to Section 4, calling for backup and when to trigger a lawyer. With all these incredibly tight deadlines and aggressive tactics from adjusters, you're probably wondering, okay, when do I actually call in a professional? Look, you don't always need an attorney for a tiny fender bender where everyone clearly agrees on what happened. But there are some major red flags that mean you are outmatched. If you've got severe injuries like broken bones or head trauma, you absolutely need legal help because medical costs skyrocket quickly and you have to calculate long-term care. If the other driver straight up lies about who is at fault, or if you're dealing with multiple parties, like a massive commercial trucking company, things are going to get highly complex very fast. Securing a personal injury attorney early on ensures your crucial evidence doesn't just disappear, and it instantly levels the playing field against those giant corporate insurance companies.
So there you have it. You're now equipped with the exact knowledge that insurance adjusters literally pray you never learn. Keep your apologies to yourself, stay totally off social media, and rely solely on the objective facts. But I want to leave you with this question. The next time you're standing on the side of the road, heart pounding, adrenaline rushing, will you remember to stay silent, or will one simple, polite apology end up costing you everything? Make sure to save this explainer right now so you can easily reference the checklist when you actually need it. And hey, subscribe for more deep dives into protecting your legal rights. Until next time, stay safe out there.